All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing your daily horoscope for Saturday the 13th of February 2021. We've got the moon moving through the middle to later degrees of Pisces, going to conjunct Neptune, the ruling planet of Pisces today, as well, creating a sextile over there to Mars, all at 19 degrees. Mars 19 degrees of Taurus, the moon and Neptune 19 degrees of Pisces. As well, a little early in the morning, we're going to have Mercury retrograde conjunct Venus in the sign of Aquarius. Let me show you what that looks like. So right here, starting off first, all this Aquarian energy, okay? Owning our Aquarian energy, owning and living up to our own inner weird, all right? Celebrating and being abundant in our own inner weird. Okay, valuing and falling in love with our own inner weird. Okay, Uranus, is the sideways planet in the zodiac. Happily sideways in the zodiac. Uranus doesn't care that it's the oddball out or that it's the first planet on the outskirts of Saturn's realm. Okay, not to be owned, almost like that Virgo sense, like I'm not owned by Saturn. Uranus, I break through, I break free of these earthly limitations. I'm breaking free. I value myself. I value my words. I value my wisdom, and this wisdom that has led me to be the individual, here the sun, right, in Aquarius, the individual that I am today. I value myself and who I am, and I'm going to celebrate my own inner weird. I don't have to fit in. Right? And when we align ourselves with not necessarily having to fit in, we come into alignment with other people that are also celebrating their own inner weird, right? It's pretty cool energy. All right, so this 14 degrees is about the lovebirds, all right, happily sitting there singing their song. All right, so this is when you celebrate your own uniqueness, and you will come into an alignment with others that are also celebrating their own uniqueness, and together you can happily sing, right? This is the soul tribe energy that we've been talking about now for a couple of days. As the day moves on, we're still following our intuitions, still following, aligning up here with our dreams, our imagination. The moon conjunct Neptune, this is, coming to an end. The 12th house is also about endings, right? Coming to an end, the end of the evening, we set our table and we enjoy a nice evening meal with those that we align ourselves with, all right? And not only just in the sense of celebrating and enjoying this meal with the soul tribe who we have connected with, but that sextile, that easy flow of energy to Mars here in Taurus, okay, saying I'm moving in this direction, I'm pulling this, I have no problem taking on the weight and the responsibility to pull this whole train forward. I don't mind stably moving forward, getting myself up every day, finding the reason to value my own happiness, finding a reason to value even when I get angry or upset. This is like some of that new moon energy we talked about the other day. Emotions, right? Emotions are abrupt. We don't always control them. We don't control how we feel about a given scenario. Right? So it's just like sometimes they're abrupt. Sometimes those emotions come out in that volcanic eruption or in that earth shake kind of energy, And part of this is understanding that it's okay. This is part of human nature. This is part of nature. And to be a human, we are a part of nature. And we can't separate ourselves from that. And so even if you're a spiritual guru or whatever, we get upset. We things affect us. And we don't necessarily numb ourselves to those things. We just find different ways of learning about it, right? Because when we do see this is part of us. This is part of our shadow and us experiencing our own shadow and the reflection of somebody else, right? So it's saying like, okay, it's okay to forgive myself for the times of my abruptness. It's okay to forgive other people for their times of emotional abruptness. It's okay to come together in harmony. It's okay to come together in unity, in forgiveness, and in love, celebrating our own uniqueness, right? and moving forward, full swing. You know, like I said, we still have Mars creating those septiles here to Saturn in the South Node. So we're releasing stuff. So it's so important today, so necessary, that we allow ourselves the opportunity to heal, that we allow ourselves the opportunity to forgive ourselves, right? And then lastly, you know, one of these things here, with the moon conjunct Neptune, emotions, Neptune ruling media, okay? It is not only the dreams and our imagination and the spiritual connectedness and like things we talked about yesterday, following our intuition and sharing our medicine with the world, okay? But dealing with the media, this can be this sense of the house of mirrors where we don't know what we're looking at, right? And I work in television, and the only reason I share this is because we're paid, right? We're paid to promote something. I haven't had like cable television in a really long time. And last week while I was traveling, you know, sitting in a hotel room, of course, I turned the TV on a little bit to wind down at the end of the night. And it was interesting that every other commercial, literally every other commercial, was like Tide, you know, a house cleaning product. But, you know, it was like, so it's like a Tide commercial, then it was a pharmaceutical commercial, you know, a home care cleaning product, pharmaceutical commercial. And it's just like the pharmacies are putting so much effort into your attention, into what they're selling you in the media, you know, that it's, if you feel this way, that it's wrong, you should be embarrassed if you have this condition or these thoughts or these feelings of any way, and that they have a pill and they have the prescription to remedy you, to fix you, to make you normal like everybody else. You know, and this energy that's going on here is saying, no. You know, it's okay to be different. It's okay. We don't have to, you know, give ourselves the pill and numb, you know, the effects of the lobster growing. We don't have to numb ourselves or to try to fit in. You know, sometimes this is what we deal with. This is our own bodies, our own, so, you know, I didn't share this. The 19th degree of Taurus, this is all coming in. The 19th degree of Taurus is like wisping clouds. Okay, showing you that the universe there's some sweeping hand moving the universe, you know, there's something here, there's some sort of energy, right, that's keeping all of these planets in orbit. There's something that's sustaining this, beyond human control, beyond fate, chance, you know what I'm saying, beyond the roll of the dice. And coming into that, it's like, have you ever seen an imperfect cloud? No. It's not possible. You know, nature is perfect. Trees aren't perfectly straight and perfectly symmetrical, although we judge things, the human eye judges things in symmetry and beauty. That's not how nature is, right? And all of this Aquarian energy, this moon conjunct Neptune, sextile down here to Mars, Mars creating this connection with Saturn in Aquarius, creating this connection with the South Node, releasing society's ideas, celebrating, coming into our own, owning our own uniqueness. You know, we are the perfect cloud. There is no such thing as an imperfect cloud. So we don't necessarily have to fit into a certain category or a certain thing or to take this in order to do this. And then it's just like the rippling cause of side effects that they say really fast, like the Micro Machine commercials back in the day, you know, back in the 80s or 90s, whatever it was. And the Micro Machine guys are talking like this. You know, it's just like, we have this dreamy thing and oh my God, well, you will sleep better or everything about your life will, you know, be better when you have our product and our pill to make you normal. Side effects may include drowsiness, dizziness, you know, and all of these things. It's like, that's worse than the original thing. Okay? So I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you to stop taking a medication, stop taking a pill. I'm not, you know, this comes with judgment free. This is the universe telling us that you're perfectly you. That you're okay, that you're allowed to be. You're allowed to be perfectly you. That you don't have to fit in to a crowd or a group. You know, that when you celebrate yourself, when you march to the beat of your own drum, when we ignore this media pushing, you know, how we're supposed to look, act, dress, talk, walk, Mercury conjunct Venus. I'm celebrating my own uniqueness. I'm celebrating my own unique words in the conversations that I bring up. And as well, speaking of like group stuff and communication, right? This part of this also deals with, if we're hanging out with people, and I can say this, I'm kind of a smaller channel where I can talk about some of this stuff, like specifically my work stuff, because I'm under contracts all the time. But working with these different networks and these programs, and if I'm working on a political campaign, the conversations of those individuals, it's all about politics. It's all about politics. If it's a social justice show that I'm working on, the nature of almost all the conversations in and out of work are revolved around social justice. If it's a sports thing, they're into sports. They're talking about stats. They're talking about players. And it's just like, so it's like what we're focusing our attention on is the conversations that we're having. So if we're focused on, social injustices or whatever it may be, politics or political injustices or whatever, which are all important conversations to have. But notice it's like when we're fixating our lens on just that thing, these are the conversations, the people and the arguments, the disagreements and agreements that we're going to be aligning ourselves with, right? We're just magnets. So we have the ability as well to shift, to turn ourselves, the pivot, right? To say, well, if I'm continuously finding myself in arguments about these particular categories, maybe that's because what my lens is focused on right now, And if I want to sit back and look up at the clouds and see the beauty in the clouds, then that's what my lens is focused on, or nature, or food, or whatever. Again, there's no right or wrong, but it's just bringing awareness to we're truly attracting like a magnet what we hold in our minds. We manifest in the conversations and the individuals around us, and we have the opportunity to separate from that. Or shift the conversation. It's like, well, wait, there's certain conversations that I don't get into with people. That doesn't make me better or worse. It's just I'm not willing to put myself there. So part of this is valuing our communication, valuing what we're bringing forward to the table. And just because this is where somebody else is at, I'm going to the beach, and if there's a barking dog, doesn't mean I have to stop and engage that barking dog and say, why is this dog barking at me? For what reason? I'm headed to the beach. I have a destination to go to. Mars is pulling this train and saying, once again, agreeing with the Aquarian energy, the fixed energy right now, that we are perfect. That there is no, we're perfect yet ever expanding in a perfect yet ever expanding world, in a perfect yet ever expanding universe. All right? So, and just simply being and moving forward with our being and allowing ourselves to expand, emotional expansion for those times that we do have those abrupt emotional dialogues or whatever it may be. This is an opportunity to look at our own shadow, because that's coming out of us, right? So we expand, we learn, and celebrate. And forgive ourselves so that we can celebrate this life, right? We don't need to hold grudges on ourselves or on other people. That's weight. We're letting go of that weight right now, says the South Node. Creating that septile, fate and destined energy, the universe sweeping its hand along to make sure that we're clearing out that karmic debt. Okay, so our hearts are going to weigh as light as a feather when we get to that point. All right? Beautiful energy going on today, my friends. Have a happy Saturday. As always, I love you. I wish you enough, and we'll see you tomorrow.